Hi, this is Nancy Damiano, Garden Girl at twopeasinabucket.com with another episode of Memory Keeping Mondays. Today we're going to be playing with color, in particular a little something called ombre. It's the French term meaning shaded, and basically it's a graduation of color from light to dark. Ombre is a huge trend right now. I've been seeing it everywhere from manicures to pretty highlights and even in food. How beautiful is that cake? So, how easy would it be to translate this to paper crafts? That's where the idea for this page came from.
My assignment was actually to do an in-review type of page, and I chose to do it about our vacation in Ocean City, Maryland a few years ago. I wanted to depict a slice of all the diverse things we did on that vacation in just one page, while still incorporating the ombre trend. To do that, I started with a pattern paper with a lot of color for a starting point. This Polaroid print from Echo Park provided the color and also a great place for journaling. Now that I had my color scheme, I went through my stash of paper and pulled color, graduating from light all the way up to dark. Some of the Echo Park solids that came with the Sweet Day collection were perfect matches. And then I just went through my scraps and full sheets until I found the combination that I was happy with. You could do an ombre of just solid colors, but I chose to mix patterns because I like the eclectic look and because it's what I had on hand. I paid attention to the depths of tone and shade until I found a combination that I was happy with. It's not so easy to do it in the aquas or in the greens, but I found a combination that I liked. Our background is going to be this denim sheet from Simple Story. It's one of my favorites right now. It's just a nice dark shade of denim with a graph on the back. I could use probably a slab of this. The dark background will really let the ombre shades stand out, and I like that. Okay, I pulled out 4 different shades for our title because I'm not sure how it's going to look. This is going to be the last thing that I do is put the title on the denim, and I'm not sure if I'm going to like the starkness of white or a graduation of one of the aqua colors. So we'll see about that. These are all thickers. And then my only other embellishment will be some flair. I'm not sure if I'm going to use one of these individuals from Studio Calico. They would match. And also these are from Hello Forever, and they're just gray numbers. I love numbers on pages, and I like the gray color. It doesn't compete with all the other colors that I have going on. And then 6 little pictures. 6 little slices of the things that we did. These are 2 by 4, and I will line them up and then journal about each of these things. And that's it. That's all our things, and we'll get started on the page.
I started the page by cutting up the Polaroid paper, a strip that I liked, most of the colors, but I wanted to change the order of the colors, and it also didn't include the green and the brown that I had used. So I just simply snipped off 2 Polaroids, and I will replace that first little light pink tile with the brown and the last tile with the green, and that'll match the ombre shades that I wanted to use for this project. So easy to customize this paper. Next, I cut out strips. Those are 2 by 1. I marked 1 inch in the center, stacked up all of my brown ombre strips, and then I used these Tim Holtz scissors to cut through 4 layers. And I started at that dot directly in the center and just went to each corner. And that gave me the triangle shape that I was looking for. I needed something that was 2 inches across on the bottom so that it would line up with the Polaroid at the top and be the same width. And here I graduated the colors from light to dark, and you're going to see that I'm going to try dark to light to see which I like better. That looks pretty too, but I decided to go from dark at the top to light at the bottom. And then I'm going to repeat that for every shade all along the bottom of the page. There again, I'm measuring the 1 inch. That's just finding the center of that rectangle and trim. If you try this with regular scissors, you might get some misshapen triangles because you need a really good, powerful scissors to go through that many sheets of cardstock. Here I've completed most of the triangles. I'm going to line them up. And then I carefully put some dot adhesive on one side or the other of the triangle, avoiding the center because I'm going to sew in the center a straight line. And I don't want my sewing machine to get stuck. I'm also going to fluff up some of the ends, and so I don't want to use too much adhesive. Along the bottom I did use it on both sides because I wanted to make sure that it stayed on the page and didn't bend up when I put it in a page protector. Now I'm going to draw my sew line just right in the center of each row, a very light pencil line, and it keeps my sewing straight. Quick run through the sewing machine, fluff up some of the ends. Some of them are stuck, so you'll see that. I only want to do a few just to add a little texture, even though I know that it's going to end up flat in the page protector. There's something about creating something with dimension, at least for the time that I have it hanging up or photograph it, that I like. If I wanted it permanently, I could put a pop dot under there. I've run the strip through my printer using Word and columns. And now the pictures. They're 2x4 strips. And you'll notice that the darkest photo, which is that one with the dinosaur in the background, I have chosen very light colored photos to surround it. That was purposely done. Sometimes when you line up this many photos, if you line up too many dark ones, it just looks like one large photo. And also you'll see there will be a person and then a scene, people and then a scene. And I like going back and forth that way. I think each individual photo stands out better that way. And then the journaling strip will hide anywhere where the pictures maybe aren't perfectly 4 inches, and even out the line of ombre shade triangles at the bottom as well. I decided to use the Hello Forever Flair numbers. I think that gray looks very pretty with those colors. Now you'll see me search for 6. Can't find it, even though it's right there. I love the simple dimension that the flair adds, and also all of the shapes. If you look from the bottom, we have triangles, circles, square, rectangles, and it makes for a really nice linear look. And yet it's interesting because I think of a whole mix of different shapes. And also on the bottom, where you have the triangles, the negative look like denim triangles to me. Next I'm going to add a pretty simple title. I use these wood letters by Pink Paisley. They're Expressions Wood Shop. I like the way they look with the denim. I didn't want to add too much more color to the top. And I put them down with quick drying glue. You could use glue dots as well. Next, I'm going to add some of the title with these thickers. And I'm going to write out the word snaps because these are just little snapshots from our vacation. Making sure that it's straight, somewhat. And then to continue with the ombre theme, I'm going to use a different set of thickers in a darker aqua blue for the year. I had a little trouble getting this straight. I should have actually drawn a pencil line. It would have made my life a little bit easier. You'll see me struggle a little bit here. Okay. Next, I'm going to add a die cut that was from the 9 to 5 October Afternoon collection, the doodad, just in the right upper hand corner. And I put that down with the tiny attacher. And then a little bit of gray twine. So we're going to repeat the gray. Something very simple with a bow on it. I just felt that at this point it looked a little bit plain in the center. I usually make a knot, and then I'll tie my bow independently because I have a really hard time getting my bows straight and the length that I need. And so I'll make them a little bit of a cheat. And then I'll put a little more quick drying glue there. And perfect fake bow, faux bow I should say. And then I usually will attach with my tiny attacher so it doesn't move around. At this point, I will take a look to see if do I need to add anything else, which I usually do. And what I needed was a few more words. So I took these from Simple Stories, their summer collection, and I added them right inside the photos and right up at the top under that die cut. I also added a period from the dark teal alphabet, and that just adds a little interest without overpowering the page. I still always want you to look at the pictures and read the stories. This completes this episode of Memory Keeping Mondays. Thanks so much for watching. For a complete list of supplies used, visit twopeasinabucket.com.